Yo, ladies, what's up? It's your boy, Mr. Locario, the bad boy of the dating game. So, we got to talk because I put up a video the other day where I was talking about how it's important to understand why men put in low effort when it's a first date, right? And basically I was saying that, the guy doesn't know you. He doesn't know if he, likes it like that. So he's not going to invest a lot of time, energy, and money on a date unless he's a sucker. You understand? And, I know for you ladies, it's hard to understand that guys aren't just going to fall over for you and just be all in love with you in the first 2 seconds. You understand? I understand that you're perfect in every way and a guy should just roll out the red carpet. But you got to understand from the guy's perspective that, when he's dealing with you, right, he doesn't know you yet. He doesn't know if he wants to be with you. I know a lot of you ladies may think this based on how certain guys act because, there's a lot of guys out there who are full of shit. So what they're going to do is they're going to love bomb you. They're going to tell you you're the best thing since sliced bread and all that other stuff. And you heard all that other craziness, but then you end up still lonely at the end of the day when they ghost you and they're nowhere to be found or whatever it is. So I want to give you ladies some understanding as to why you're going to keep having these problems if you don't understand how to navigate when it comes to you attracting men. Now, I got a comment under the video that I posted up. And basically the video, again, I was talking about how men are going to put in low effort by going to, let's say, a coffee date. You understand? And a lot of women are like, don't do coffee dates because that's low effort. What I'm trying to tell you is that a guy should do that. And you should also put in low effort too at the beginning because you understand, like you don't know him either, right? But let's look at this comment this lady wrote. And I'm going to break this down and I'm going to show you why you ladies are going to continue to be lonely if you don't wake up, right? So she says, this man is capping hard. She's talking about me. She said, ladies, do not ever accept low energy from a man ever, especially upon just meeting, because it will set a standard. And when you desire more, he will remind you of the little it took to interest you in the beginning and guilt you for wanting more. This is a game they play. Now, let me stop there right there for a second. So she's basically saying if you accept low energy, that's going to be the precedent that's set in the entire relationship. No, this is not what happens. What happens is when a man is going above and beyond, right? What happens is that this guy usually at the beginning, if he's going above and beyond, he's love bombing you, right? He's trying to butter you up in order to sleep with you, right? Now, if you're dealing with a man who is actually confident, a man who actually has some standards and a man who loves himself, what he does is that he puts in low effort first. Then when he sees that you are worth more, he puts in more. You understand what I'm saying? So this is why you meet a guy and when y'all first get together, you go on a first date, y'all interact, get to know each other. He realizes, okay, I want to see her more, then we can do more things. I can give you more time. And then as time goes on, you will get more extravagant things in the situation if it's feasible, if you're the type of woman he seems, that it's worthy. You see what I'm saying? Now, let's continue this. She says, a man showing his extreme interest in you and asking you for any kind of sex upon meeting doesn't even correlate. So now this part she was talking about, I made an example of, I was basically making, sort of like a analogy of if you met a guy and the first time you met him, within the first 5 seconds, he told you to suck his dick. You'd be like, what the fuck, right? So the thing is, it's not that you ladies don't like sucking dick, right? Because you do. If you're in a situation with a guy that you're attracted to, you might suck his dick, right? But most likely you're not going to suck a dick from a guy who just came up to you and said that in 2 seconds, right? Because you would say, I need to, actually sort of get to know this guy, feel him out first before I put his dick in my mouth. You understand what I'm saying? So it's the same thing when a man meets you. Why would a man want to do some extravagant stuff, spend lots of money on you when he first met you and he doesn't know you like that? So he would need to get to know you, see if it's worth it. And then in those situations, if he likes you and sees it's worth it, he would spend all that money and do some more extravagant things. So what I was saying is that The same way where you went and just suck a guy's dick within the first 2 seconds of meeting him and him just asking you to do it is the same way a guy does not want to spend a bunch of money on you in the first 2 seconds of meeting you. Now, she says that example was so unnecessary and out of left field. This man was just being gross and showing his character. He wants women to see a man being chivalrous as him being extreme. Boy, bye, right? So she's basically saying that example of me talking about sucking dick was disgusting. And, I'm basically saying that being chivalrous is being extreme. No, I'm not saying being chivalrous is being extreme. What I'm saying is to you ladies is that when a man first meets you, right, you have to get it out of your mind. You got to get out of your ego, right? That he thinks you're all that. I know guys lie to you and say, oh, you're my dream girl. They say all this because they trying to fuck. All right, let's continue. Now, she says, most men are not even worth dating. Okay, let's stop right there. She said most men are not even worth dating. Okay, if that's the case, why would a guy spend a lot of money on the first date? Why wouldn't he just take you on a coffee date? If a man is not worth dating, or if most men are not worth dating, wouldn't it make sense for these guys to not roll out the red carpet and maybe just take you on something small like a coffee date? Because let's say from your perspective, if most men are not worth dating, let's say I go on a date with you and you believe for whatever reason I'm not worth dating. Wouldn't it make sense for me not to spend a lot of money and time and energy if I'm not worth dating? But let's continue. It says a man who is really interested will come right out. Wait, so he says that a man who is really interested will come right on in and show that his intention is to lock in and to keep you from entertaining or needing another man. Interesting. Again, if I'm just meeting you for the first time, this is a first date. I don't know you like that. You understand? And forget all this. Oh, but we talk on the phone first and no. You are a stranger, just like I'm a stranger. So we're both strangers. We're seeing if you want to continue to make it happen. So why would I care about you entertaining another man unless I'm a lame, right? If I just met you, I don't even know if I like you. See, this is the thing. If a guy is making you a big deal from the jump, it's really surface level, meaning that he's like, oh, she's so beautiful. She's so hot. So now I'm going to make this a surface level thing and roll out the red carpet for this woman. That's called simping. That's called a guy who's a sucker. That's called a guy who doesn't have any game. You understand? But let's continue. He says, if a man asks you out to coffee, do not go. Whatever he wants to say over coffee can be said over the phone without the benefit of your presence in public, boosting his ego. Every time a man has a beautiful woman in his presence, it is a benefit to him and boosts his ego. That is huge for men. They live for other men's approval. Ladies, stop letting men extract that from you early on. Okay, let's unpack that. So now, if you're telling these ladies don't go for coffee dates, and you're saying basically that this woman's beautiful presence boosts his ego, and that's huge for men because they live for other men's approval. Okay, check this out. So if you're this beautiful woman and I'm living for other men's approval because I want them to approve of me with being with you, and I'm with this beautiful woman, does that actually mean I like you? Does that mean I care about you? Does that mean I care about the person you are? Or am I using your physical attractiveness, right, as a way? I'm using you as an object, as a way to get approval from other men. So if that's the case, and I'm using your physical beauty as approval to get from other men, and I don't care about who you are, why would I, or any man, like roll out the red carpet and do more than a coffee date? See, also understand this. Guys who are confident, guys who are on point, they don't give a shit about other men's approval. So a lot of weak dudes, yes, they do care about other men's approval. A lot of guys who are goofy and, these beta males, they definitely care about other men's approval. But actual man don't give a shit about another man's approval. But what's interesting that when she's saying this is that she's basically, breaking the woman down into just the physical object, but at the same time, expect the guy to go above and beyond for the woman who he doesn't care about because she's the physical object. Why would he go all out for that? That makes absolutely no sense. She says, if he can't take you on a proper date, he's more likely a broke and will waste your time. A proper date will not set a man back who has his finances in order. Oh my goodness. So first of all, what is a proper date? According to who? Right? See, ladies, what you got to understand is when a man is taking you out on a date, he's giving you an opportunity to get with a man. Remember, you're not approaching the men. You're not setting the date. You're not paying for the date. When you get married, you're taking his last name. You have to understand this. Right? And then she says a proper date will not set a man back who has his finances in order. It doesn't matter how much a man has his finances in order, right? Because remember, you are not entitled to his finances. If he's asking you on a date and say, hey, let's go do this thing, he's giving you the opportunity to hang out with him and be with a man in that moment, right? So the point of the date is y'all getting together to fill each other out, right? What you're doing is what's happening in the background. So whether it's coffee, dinner, whatever, it doesn't matter. But remember, he's the one planning it. And understand this. This is what you ladies don't want to understand. And y'all know this, but y'all don't really want to think about it. The man you're going on that first date with, you're not the only one. So a man might line up 5 dates, 6 dates in a week, right? So wouldn't it make sense for him to go on 6 coffee dates, then go to 6 dinners? You understand what I'm saying? So even if he has his finances in order, right? Why would a guy who has his finances in order waste all that money? You understand? He most likely has his finances in order because he's not wasting money. You understand? And then she says, the last thing she says, sis, don't be desperate. Date with intention. Never let a man breadcrumb you. And see, ladies, I got to tell you, you are going to remain single. I guarantee you this. I promise you this. Listen, you are going to remain single if this is the path you're going on. See, this hubris that you have, the arrogance that you have is going to keep you single. Because what you got to understand is when you first meet a man, he is seeing if he likes you. He is not decided that he wants you. Because what's funny is at the beginning, she was like, this sets the standard of what's going to happen later in the relationship. Who says there's going to be a later? This is the first date. Y'all might not get along. Have you ever, listen, look, you might not like this guy and he might not like you. So what is this? Because she said at the beginning, she said, don't ever accept low energy from a man ever, especially upon just meeting, because it will set the standard. And when you desire more, he will remind you the little it took at the beginning. More? Who says there's going to be more? We're on the first date to see if there might even be. We don't know. Ladies. Relax. I'm telling you right now, I'm guaranteeing you will be single if you don't chill the fuck out. So look, if you need any help, because Liz, I'm not one of these coaches who are just going to hold your hand and, tell you everything's going to be okay. And, men are evil and they're just all dogs. And, if he's intimidated by, listen, y'all have had that already. Y'all need the real shit. I'm sick of this. You know what I'm saying? When y'all ready to actually make shit happen, when you want it, ladies, when you're tired of bullshitting yourself, come holla at me.